Good evening everybody, it's Rory Holiday here, the physiotherapist. We're going to do some Pilates today, and today I'm going to be focusing on some of those muscles through the back of the body a little bit more. So from the base of the skull, all the way down between the shoulder blades, into the sides of the back, buttocks, hamstrings and calves are all going to get a bit of a workout today after the last session was a bit more focused on the tummy muscles. So all we need today is a mat and a towel, and we're good to go. So we're going to start off in standing. We're going to do a little bit of a warm-up in standing. As ever, we're going to find our good standing posture, so we're going to keep ourselves nice and tall. Here's a little idea, imagination. Great big helium balloon attached to the crown of your head. Imagine that huge helium balloon pulling you up towards the ceiling through the crown of your head. That keeps you tall and keeps the chin tucked in. We've got the shoulder blades gently down, and we're going to do a few of those pelvic tilts to find that neutral position that we've done before. So we've got a shallow curve in the lower back. Chin stays there, and from here we're going to simply allow the knees and hips and ankles to bend a little bit. It's almost as though that helium balloon is just lowering you down, softening you into the floor, and then bringing you back up, and you're just coming along for the ride. You don't really have to do any work here, you're just doing the movement as the helium balloon takes you. Breathing in time with the movement and trying to avoid the temptation to pitch the shoulders forward and stick the bum out. We're not doing squats in the gym here, we're just softening the hips and knees and just doing a little bit of a bob up and down. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more repetitions of that. Okay, now this time that helium balloon is going to pick us up a little bit more. We're only going through the ankles this time. The balls of the feet press down into the floor, the heels lift, the knees stay straight, keeping that chin tucked in, shoulder blades gently set behind you, raising up, slowly lowering down. Try and avoid swaying forwards as you do this. Try and go straight up through the crown of the head and slowly lower down. Breathing throughout, and then we're going to bring those arm movements into it. So we're going to float the arms up, hands at shoulder height. We're going to split the arms here. So one arm goes up, the other one comes back down. One arm goes up, the other one comes back down. And if you're able to, reach it a little bit higher. Let that rib cage move upwards, breathing throughout the movement. And I don't mind whether you're breathing in or out at the moment. It doesn't really matter all that much. As long as you're breathing. That's all we want. Don't stop breathing. Okay, good work. One more repetition. Okay, great. Now the next one's going to fire up those shoulder muscles, particularly the muscles between the shoulder blades and on the back of the shoulder blades. It's not really a Pilates exercise, it's called robbery because it's hands up, okay? But we're not going to do that quick, we're just going to go nice and slow. We can let those knees soften and bend again. The helium balloon's disappeared for a while. It's not so upright, this one. We're going to allow ourselves to soften. Hands go to the hips, and we're just going to raise the hands slowly and then gently bring that back down. Explore how far those hands can go up without causing any pain or restriction. Soften them down. Notice how my elbows stay at a right angle. So my hands are at about head height as they come up. And I'm going to make life a little bit harder by pitching my body forwards here. So I'm going to allow those shoulders to come forwards, but I'm going to keep my back in that flat position. And as I do that, the arms are challenged by gravity a little bit more. So you feel a little bit more of the burn in the back of your shoulders. You'll keep that chest nice and broad, chin tucked in toward the throat as we do this one. Try and keep weight equally distributed through the ball of the foot and the heel, so there's no lifting of the heel getting into this position. Okay, one more repetition here. Lovely jubbly, gently back down. Excellent, let's come out to that position. We're going to get down onto the mat now. We're going to do an exercise called breaststroke. It's quite a challenging one really. We've got a basic version and then a slightly harder version. I recommend you stick to the basic one if you've not done this kind of work before. Right, as ever, I don't get down onto the mat easily. We have to do a roll down to get down there. So we're going to tuck the chin into the chest, in towards the throat, rolling it onto the chest. Shoulder blades roll forwards and around. And as we roll down, we're thinking about one vertebra at a time, going forwards on top of the one below. When the lower back begins to bend, the tailbone goes up, so the hamstrings get a nice stretch. And then we just allow the knees to bend and we take the hands down, we walk those hands out. So the first part of this exercise that we're going to do, we need to fold a towel to support the forehead and hands. I'm going to be popping my hands on the towel in a diamond shape, and I'm going to pop my face through that diamond, okay? It'll all make sense in a minute. And you're going to lower yourself into it, nice and gently. Hands on that towel, face down. Now, when you're in this position, we need to be able to keep that chin tucked in. I'm going to lift my head and talk to you, otherwise you can't hear me. But the face is going to be in this position. Okay? Shoulder blades set down, neck nice and long. Think about taking your tailbone down toward your heels, so that you're just flattening that back. See what that movement feels like, that tilt of the pelvis, just to pull the tummy in a little bit and take the tailbone down towards your heels. Okay? Toes can either be tucked under if you get cramp easy. If your feet are nice and relaxed, let them go away. Okay. So the first part of the movement, dead simple, he says. Lift the forehead up a couple of inches from your towel, keeping your chin tucked in towards your throat, shoulder blades set down. We keep breathing, we hold for 5 breaths. We maintain that position without lifting the eyes, without lifting the chin. And we're probably getting toward 5 breaths there, and slowly lower down. Next step, we're going to lift the hands and arms with the head this time, so they stay stuck to your forehead and face. This is going to be harder. Think about that tailbone staying down towards your heels. Don't let the lower back dip inwards. So as I lift up, the hands come with me. I'll turn my head so you can hear me. And once we're there, we're going to try and breathe for that 5 breaths. If this is too hard on the lower back, lower the hands back down. If you can maintain it, hands stay up in position. Still breathing, keeping that tailbone tucked down towards your heels. Shoulder blades set down, neck stays long, slowly lower down. The next level, we're going to actually bring the arms into this, and we're going to do an actual breaststroke type movement. Have a quick look at this, see what you think. We're going to lift up with the hands again. We're going to reach the arms out, around to the hips, and then we're going to bring them through to go out again. All the time my chin stays tucked in, my neck stays nice and long, and my lower back remains in its neutral position. Okay? Let's see if we can manage that. If you can't, go back to the just lifting the head with the hands down. Okay, so we're going to lift up if we can, head and hands, tailbone stays tucked down. We're going to have a breath in to prepare, and then we're going to breathe out as we reach the arms. Breathe in as those arms come around to your side. Breathe out as you reach them all the way through. Breathe in as they come to the side. We're going to do 5 repetitions in total. Don't lift that chin. Breathing out as they go up and around. 2 more to go. Breathing out as you reach out in front of you, around. Last repetition. Keep that tailbone pointed down towards your heels, all the way around. Lovely work. Bring those hands back to the head. Slowly soften down. Have a little relax. Okay, we're going to give those muscles that have been working a bit of a stretch. Take your time. A little bit of extension to begin with, sort of mini cobra type exercise. And then we're going to come up onto hands and knees. Roll that bum back toward the heels. Head goes down, forehead just touches the floor. Nice, deep, full breath into the back of those rib cages. Fill those lungs up. Feels nice, doesn't it? Another one of those. Okay, so now we're up here. We're going to stay on hands and knees. So the last one was breaststroke. This is swimming. We're going to do swimming level 4. We're going to have the wrists underneath the shoulders, hands are shoulder width apart. Knees underneath the hips, knees are hip width apart. Toes, if you can tolerate it, point them away. If your feet go into cramp quite easily, like mine, tuck them under. It's up to you. I'll try and keep them away to begin with. So we've got to lift the chest up, we've got to tuck the chin in. Imagine you've got a grapefruit tucked under your chin. You're not going to drop it whilst you're in this position, and that stays there all the way through. So keep your grapefruit in place, chest stays up, neutral lumbar spine. Imagine you've got a little football just balanced in that lumbar spine that stays there. Keep that in place. And now I'm going to take weight off one hand and the opposite shoulder, opposite knee without disturbing the football. And I'm going to slowly straighten out. And then I'm going to bring it in. I'm exploring the movement to begin with. I'm not going too high. I'm not going too far. I'm just thinking, can I control that football? Can I keep my grapefruit under my chin? And start to see whether you can reach a little further, pointing those toes and fingers, and slowly bringing back in. Absolute stealth as that hand and knee comes back in. Don't let the football know you've come back into position. Breathing out as you reach away. Breathing in as we come back in. Lovely juggling. One more on each side. Looking good. Keep that chest up. Last one. Good work. So you could clumsily go through this movement, swaying from side to side, dipping and holding the back, and it'd be quite easy. Keep that trunk, core, pelvis still. It's a lot more of a challenge. Okay, we're going to be laying down on our side here. We're going to do an exercise called lift and lower. We're going to do leg lifts, and then we're going to do a bit of lowering as well in here. It will make sense in a minute. It's sort of two stages of an exercise. We're going to take the arm and put it up. If the shoulder will go. If the shoulder doesn't like it, put it out in front. If you put it out in front, you need more head support, like a yoga block or a few more folded towels. If you can, the arm goes up, towel goes on the arm, head goes on the towel. Now, we're going to try and straighten those legs out. The thing is, you straighten the legs out, you roll backwards or you roll forwards. I want you to find that point where you're dead on the hip, really. And if it's a bit tender on the hip, again, use a folded towel under the hip to find the right position. This hand is just going to go here for support. Imagine you've got a great big Victoria sponge here, and you're just going to lightly put your hand on it. You're not going to squash it, it's just there for the lightest bit of balance. Okay, so I'm dead on my side. I've created a bit of a gap under my waist by pushing this top hip down toward my ankle. Keeping that hand in place for light balance. I'm going to lift this leg. I'm not going to go too high because I'm thinking about this gap under the waist. If I go too high, all that happens is that waist collapses down. So I'm only working the range at the hip that I can. I'm not trying to work my lumbar spine range of movement. My lumbar spine muscles are working to stabilise, but that's all. Now, there's a temptation as you fatigue with this exercise that you start to roll backwards because it makes it easier. So just think about keeping those hips forwards. Feels like it's a bit of a balancing act sometimes. Breathing out as you reach up, breathing in as you come back down. And imagine that you've got like a laser pen attached to your big toe and you're just drawing a straight line with that laser pen up and down the wall below you. So it's trying not to dither from side to side, it's trying to reproduce that same line all of the time. Okay, good work. We're going to do another couple of repetitions there. Now, I've found with this exercise, some people are really strong at this and can do loads. Some people struggle to even start the movement. If you're struggling to start the movement, do a couple of repetitions, rest. Do a couple of repetitions, rest, and repeat that cycle over. If you're doing quite well with that one, I've got something harder for you. We're going to lift that top leg up again, just as we did, maybe not quite so high, and then we're going to lift the bottom leg to meet it, and then we lower both down together. So as I lift the bottom leg up, don't let your waist collapse. The temptation will be to let it collapse. That'll make it a lot easier. See if you can keep that gap under the waist all the time. Okay. Breathing out as you reach up. Breathing in as you bring the bottom leg up. Breathing out as you come back down. So there's always a cycle of breathing with the movements. And as I've said before, it doesn't really matter too much where that goes, so long as you keep breathing. I've lost count now. I think we'll do another couple. One more. Okay, slowly down. Now we're going to do the other side. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to come up into sitting. We're going to do a little stretch in sitting before we go to the other side. So bring your towel over, put it to the other side of your mat. and we're going to sit in a nice high cross leg position. If you struggle with this because of hip flexibility, if you feel like you're slumped in this position, get yourself a thick book or a yoga block or a couple of swimming floats and sit on those and get yourself up nice and tall. We're going to do a spine twist in this position. So staying nice and tall, keeping your grapefruit tucked in, healing balloon in place. We're going to pop our arms like so they are crossed, and we're going to imagine an axis through your spine as there is. We're going to rotate around that axis one way. Have a look how far you can get. Let's go the other way. How far can you go this way? Breathing out. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out as we go out. Can you go a little further? Breathing in as you come in. Breathing out as you go around. Can you go a little further? Keep that one going. And if you really don't like this position of sitting, you can do this in kneeling. It just makes it a little harder to isolate your hips from getting involved in the movement. That doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to do one more in each direction. Breathing out, breathing in as we come back in, breathing out as far as you can go. Try not to slump the spine, gently back in, and now we're going to get down to this side. Okay, so if the arm will go, take it up, towel on the arm, head on the towel, legs nice and straight. My Victoria sponge is back for me to lightly put my hand on, and from there we're going to create that gap under the waist by pushing, literally sliding your top leg over your bottom leg, and you should feel it creates a bit of a gap under there that I want you to keep. Fingertips lightly resting, lift that top leg, have a bit of an explore. How high can you lift that compared to the other side? Is there a difference? There usually is. Usually one side's a bit stronger than the other and can go a little bit higher. Keep the toes pointed forwards. Sometimes some of these exercises ask you to turn the foot outwards, which does isolate other muscles, but it tends to roll you backwards a little bit. So let's keep them pointed forwards, breathing out as you lift, breathing in as you come back down. Now have a little bit of an explore around the rest of the body now. Start to think about what's happening in the neck. Are you able to keep that light tucked in position? Or do you feel like you're sort of clenching your teeth and pushing your head down into your arm to try and create stability? If that's happening, soften the neck. Let the head relax. Try not to use your neck and shoulder as a source of stability for this exercise. Still breathing out, breathing in. Okay, couple more repetitions. And remember, as I said, if this is hard work, break it into sets of 2 or 3 reps. Last one, have a little rest there. Okay, good work. Now, we're going to make it a little bit harder by bringing the bottom leg into this. So we're going to go back to nice straight leg. We're going to keep that gap. We've got the hand on the Victoria sponge. We're going to lift that top leg and then we bring that bottom leg to meet it without collapsing the waist. So we're mindful of what's happening under here. Lift and lower. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in. So we have to get that in-breath in between if we're really focusing on the absolute technique. And again, we're thinking, what's happening with the neck and the shoulder? Is this top shoulder doing anything, or can it stay relaxed? You're clenching your teeth. You're sticking your tongue out. You're holding your breath. And not. One more rep. Okay. Good work. All right. Gently ease out of that one. Okay. Now, we're going to turn onto our back and we're going to finish off with a few old faithfuls with shoulder bridge, starting with something quite basic, and I'm quickly going to take it up into something harder so you stay at the appropriate level for you. So we're going to start those heels closer toward the bum, feet and knees are hip width apart, chin is tucked in towards your throat as ever, shoulder blades set down, and I'm going to focus on pushing that tailbone up towards the ceiling, peeling one vertebra at a time away from the floor, and then rolling one vertebra at a time back into the floor. Softening, relaxing, letting everything go. Bringing that tailbone back in. It's almost like that helium balloon is now attached to the tailbone and is pulling you up towards the ceiling. and then it's softening and lowering you back down. Okay, well, that's pretty straightforward. You've done that before. Let's make it harder. Bring the arms out in front of you. Just get used to the idea of doing a bridge with the arms up. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay, and you're looking for that straight line of movement of the spine. In other words, there's no dithering from side to side as you lower down. So we're trying to keep that straight line. If that's working for us, then as I lift my tailbone, I'm going to take one arm out to the side. And then as I lower myself back onto the bed or the floor, I bring that hand back in. And we do the same with the opposite side. Taking that hand out and back, the hips go up, and then bring it back up. So as we take the arm out, essentially it's pulling your centre of gravity over to one side. And all you have to do is prevent it from pulling you. So we're keeping that nice straight line through the spine and tailbone. Slowly lowering, good work. Okay, now I said I was going to step it up, that's what we're going to do. We're going to be lifting a leg while we're in that position, hands back on the floor. So we're going to take that tailbone up towards the ceiling, keeping that position. We're going to lift one foot, straighten the knee. Put that foot back down, roll back out to the bridge. If you've done this before with me, you know I'm hot on what happens with the pelvis here. I want to keep that pelvis nice and level. So imagine we've got a spirit level across that pelvis, so as I come to lift this leg, I'm watching what the pelvis, or feeling what the pelvis is doing. I don't want it to tip towards the side that I'm lifting. I want it to stay nice and level. I roll back out. And this is where we start to use the neck again if we're not careful. So just keep that chin tucked in. You would love nothing more than to push through the back of the head to make this a little bit easier. So keep the neck and jaw relaxed. Rolling back out. And if you think that's easy peasy, well, good for you. But let's make it harder, eh? Let's bring those arms up. Let's see if we can go through that bridge. That's the easy bit. Can we lift that leg without feeling like the body wants to twist and contort? Okay. If you feel like you're all over the place, put the arms back down, please. Try the other side. Good work. Okay. If you're all sort of thinking, well, this is easy, then what we're going to do is do our shoulder bridge. We're going to get our bridge. We're going to do our leg lift. We're going to put it down. We're going to stay up in the bridge, do the other side, put that one down, roll back out. And we're going to do another couple of repetitions there. Let's keep this one going. If you can, we're going to do 2 leg lifts per shoulder bridge. That's it, one side. The other side, slowly roll that back out, still really putting effort into getting back onto the floor. Last repetition there. Okay, good work. You can have buns of steel after this one. Roll that back out. Just in case we are going to have buns of steel that are a little bit too stiff, we're going to give them a gentle stretch now in this position. So I want you to cross ankle over knee. We're going to take hold of the knee and shin and we're going to pull it up, mindful of that neutral lumbar spine. Don't let your back flatten as you pull that knee towards the opposite shoulder. Hold that stretch, breathe with the stretch, keep that breath going in and out, full breaths. And if we can, we take hold of the ankle, just wind it up a little bit more, keeping that knee over. Still breathing. Slowly ease out there. Foot back down. Left ankle over right knee. Pull that knee and shin over towards the opposite shoulder. What happens to your back? You're pushing your back into the floor, or are you keeping it nice and curved, keeping that neutral in place? Keep that there. Slowly breathing it out. You can hear some whining, it's my dog trying to get in, sorry about that. Get that ankle up a little bit higher. Just stay there in that stretch. Okay, gently ease that out. Okay, we're going to roll over onto our side, over onto our hands and knees. We're going to come back into a crouch position. We're going to push the heels into the floor, straighten the knees, roll our way back out of there until we're fully upright. And that's us done. Okay, so last time I saw you, we really targeted these tummy muscles. We've just targeted those back muscles and bum muscles now. Next time I see you, we're going to kind of link all of that together, and we're going to throw in a few other things as well. Okay, keep practicing that. I'll see you again.